What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and I'm back with the blazing Toku Moviethon. And I'm talking about Godzilla vs. Hedorah.
What the fuck even was this movie?
It was a real trip. That's what it was. But thank you, Stormy Off Screen. This movie is really, really weird. This is a really ridiculous movie, but before we get into Godzilla vs. Hedorah itself, I want to mention my little history with this movie. I'm not saying oh, I was on the filming. I didn't exist. But this is not the first time I've seen this movie. I watched this actually in school, and I thought it was weird then, and I think it's weird now, but a ton of fun. But it's also was that version I think I watched was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, which is the dub in English. So, that's pretty neat. And apparently this has a bunch of different names. Apparently in Spain it's called Hedorah the Toxic Cloud. And geez, describing this movie is gonna be hard. It's so 70s, it almost hurts. It also has this flat message of just, hey, pollution sucks, we need to stop polluting the earth. There's literally, we hear a song 3, 4 times in the movie about earth being crap and nothing we can do, and this earth sucks and nobody's left because it is trash. What? And this movie, I'm just gonna keep saying it's really weird because Hedorah could be set up as a pollution monster, we created it, and then it just turns out oh, Hedorah's this space alien. Spoiler alert, by the way. This movie's from the 70s, you had your chance to watch it, and it really does show. From the dancing art style to the disco to the weird heart palpitations we see earlier. We see people in weird fish masks. I don't even understand that part. The human part, I don't want to say necessarily was boring. We had the most badass kid in all of the Godzilla movies who literally took a knife to Hedorah and lived. And then his dad gets covered in acid, and we see a bunch of death. A bunch of people die in this movie. The main nephew kid with the guitar dies. He gets fucking sludged. We don't see him alive. It's just the end. We don't even get a wrap up to the story and the scientist dad being well, we need to take better care of the earth or something. No, it was him in the back of the car on a bed just being well, at least we electrified this thing to death. Thanks, Godzilla. That's the end of his story. There's really no follow-up. And, that's pretty much... It's so weird that the human plot was just figuring out what the hell Hedorah was and how to kill it. That's the human plot. So, it's just a really weird movie. And, there's this girl that the main, cool guy? Hippie kid? Nephew guy? I don't remember his name. Gets infatuated with and, starts hanging out with them. And, I don't even remember them saying her name. So... And, there were these weird animated segments and everything. Just every once in a while, it would cue to, a little cute cartoon of Hedorah just being And, when Hedorah first comes on the land, when it gets all to the puff clouds, it looks like it's taking a rip off a bong or something, just being you guys aren't narcs, right? You aren't a narc? Okay, I'm just gonna take a couple more puffs. It's fine. Oh, I'm just gonna enjoy these exhaust fumes. It's gonna make me bigger, and I'm gonna have, a big pimple on my back that's just gonna be, right there. That's the goal. That's the goal, man. I don't know what, Hedorah was literally just walking around... And, once it got the flying form, was just, killing people with its farts. And, is making acid. And, you just see bones. Bones of people. it's it's such a weird movie that you have to see it for yourself. Like, that's why I'm gonna recommend this movie. Me describing it to you, like, I don't even want to show you anything. One, because sadly there's no easy way for me to get screenshots, so I'm sorry. I can't take a picture of all of Hedorah's forms. But I wanted to talk about this movie anyway because it's so weird. It's almost a really iconic, like, Godzilla movie, because it's like the first, it's, I don't know if it's the first one, but it's like one of the Godzilla movies where Godzilla is the hero, and like everyone's like, yeah, Godzilla, kick his ass. Like, this little kid apparently can have a telepathical message with him. Like, it's really weird. Like, who wrote this and on what fever dream? And like, who was like, yeah, throw an environmental message in too. That's gonna be great. Like, bruh. Like, I overall enjoyed it. It's one of the earlier movies. I want to say it came out in 1973. I can't read that, so I don't know. Even though it's in English, I can't read it. But it was a fun time, and especially if you can get in with a group of people like who've never seen it. Like, one of my goals was, I was like, oh, Stormy, you need to see this. And it was the funniest thing, because the reaction you just heard, I heard throughout the whole movie, and I was just like, yep, we're just gonna keep going. But, like, let's talk about Hedorah's forms real quick. It starts as a weird little sperm, like a gross sperm, and, like, it can grow into a bigger sperm with eyes, and then it turns into a frog, starts hopping around and taking bong rips, and then it splits apart into the gas fart form. And then you get the full form that can morph between flying form and a big form, which they have arms and a tail. Like, what? Like, I guess that's what it just looks like when it's big, but it's kind of cool that you got to see it morph through both of its forms, you know? Where it wasn't just, oh, once it's Hedorah's final form, that's what they stay. No, they turn into, like, the flying form so they could zip around places. This is also the movie that gives us the iconic Godzilla flying of just the, it's just the, like, going into space, that's where this movie did it. This movie did it, and it's really funny. It's not quite like Jaguar levels of like, oh my lord, he is going ham. Like, it's not that level, but it was pretty funny. And honestly, there was a lot of comical moments, and I feel like this movie is so weird that it can feel slow at times, but overall, I find it really enjoyable. Like, I think it's really a fun movie, and I think you should at least experience once. Like, I don't know if it's for everybody, but for me personally, like, I love looking at old sci-fi and old movies. Like, I think it's really interesting that, like, they were giving us this environmental message and all this pollution, and in a way, everything's gotten worse. Like, isn't that terrible? Like, Hedorah's little trash island, there is one of those in the middle of the ocean. It just doesn't have eyes and can walk on land. Like, isn't that insane? Like, we were just like, we need to stop this, and we still haven't stopped. Hey, if Garfield phones can wash up on beaches, who knows what's next? Like, would it be ironic if Hedorah, like, vinyls just started, like, washing up on shore? Would that be funny? Would it be ironic? I don't know. And I feel like I haven't talked about Godzilla much, but, like he got, like, pretty much, like, puked on and pooped on from, like, the goo, and just got acid everywhere. But, like, at the end, he just eviscerates Hedorah. Like, the military just messes up three times in the movie and really doesn't do anything. Like, they have to build these coils so they can electrocute Hedorah into ashes. But, like, the first time, Godzilla and Hedorah fall into the electrical line, so they break, and they have to fix them. And they're like, well, we need 10 minutes. And they're like, well, they're showing up right now. And we literally get a 5-minute scene of them being like, blink, 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 lights. Hedorah just being like, blink, 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 Hedorah. Blink, 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 Hedorah. Hey, a helicopter's coming by! Blink, 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 Hedorah. Then it starts going on fire, so then it's like fire, blink, 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 Hedorah. And like, it got like, that was a little bit too long. But, like, honestly, I think this movie is just kind of real, like, it feels really unique and really interesting, if you ask me. And like I said, it just ends. Like, Godzilla defeats Hedorah, and it's just over. It's like, go the fuck home. We're done here. Get out of here. And I overall really did enjoy it, even though it's like, I feel like the human part, what made it interesting is because they were trying to figure out Hedorah, so like, through their part, we're learning about what Hedorah is, and like, the consequences of what, like, our pollution is doing. It allowed this, like, pretty much this parasite from the Orion constellation to, like, feed off our pollution and become this big-ass monster. But good thing Godzilla came and saved us. You know, the giant nuclear lizard? Like, yeah. I think that's pretty much all I gotta say this week. Overall, I think this was a really fun time. I will highly recommend you watch it. It's a classic Showa-era Godzilla movie. So, thank you so much for watching. What is your favorite Hedorah form? Mine, personally, I'm about to say, I don't know, maybe the frog one. I like the frog one a lot, but the final form's really cool. But, yeah. And what was your favorite scene? What do you think is the weirdest scene? Like, what's the most, like, point out a moment if you want in the comments that you're just like, why did this happen? I'm not going to be able to answer it because I don't know either, but I'm just curious on what people found weird about it. So, which is everything, but you know, like, what's weird to you? But I guess that's pretty much it. One final thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya with another movie next week. Take it away, Bellarock!
Coming soon.
Next week's movie is Ultraman Trigger, Episode Z. Wait, am I in that movie? I'm not sure if I'm in that movie. See you next week.